Right then guys, welcome back to a brand new Way of the Hunter video, and today we have been given early access to the brand new update coming that basically, it doesn't entirely rework herd management, it just makes things easier to read and gives us more insight into it basically. So I think we might as well just jump straight into it and start analysing the like data and stuff that they've given us. So first, before look, the map becomes a lot more complicated, and at first glance it looks very complicated and you might not really know what's going on, so that's why I'm going to talk you through everything that you need to know in the Encyclopedia, which is under this new fitness potential bit. And yeah, I think we'll get into that now, and we will basically explain everything and make it easier to understand. So under the fitness potential category, we basically, that is what you will see on the map. So if we quickly go across the map and we'll look at this whitetail, there is a brand new fitness potential bit, and it's basically like kind of a graph. And to be honest, when I saw it first, I really didn't understand it at all. When you harvest an animal, you don't only affect its group, and then once in-game year passes, the herd management that you've done influences the whole group within that area or habitat. So if we look at this basically, yes, that's the habitat name, that's fine, that's not really like needed per se. But then we get onto the habitat quality. So we have three different badges here, and the one with the little wavy line in the middle is secondary, which is lowest genetics possible. The one with the star is primary, which is like the middle to better genetics. And then the one with the crown is the private, which is the highest potential. But obviously you need to buy their access or gain it throughout missions. Now, if we go up to C is the like fitness potential range. So you see here, it's like 22 and 82%. 22%, nothing can spawn lower than 22%, and nothing can spawn higher than 82%. However, you see these little boxes along here. Every single one of those boxes is 5%. And when they are grayed out like that, that means it can go into that box. So technically, the lowest possible that this could be would be 5, 10, 15%. And the highest it could be would be like 90%. So lowest percentage would be 15 and highest would be 90. And then D, that is a bit more complicated. But if we go across to it, it's the how much has changed in the previous year. So let's say you've just started the game, you shoot 5 whitetail that are below 50% genetics, so they're bad genetics, and then you go on to the next year. A certain amount, your habitat will go, fitness will go up a certain amount, which is indicated there. So for instance, if we go across to my map, so in our last year, we're currently on day 3 at the moment. In our last year, we went down 1%. So clearly we shot something big that we weren't supposed to shoot, and it's gone down 1%. However, the foxes have gone up 6%, which is very, very good. The wolves, they're stable, so I haven't shot wolves, they haven't died, nothing's happened to them. And then the mule deer, yep, down 1% in this area. However, if we go straight across to another area and look at the mule deer here are stable. So it's all influenced on the habitats, because this grassland habitat is completely different to this lowland forest. So if you shoot any mule deer within this lowland forest, it could be from this herd here or this herd here, it will influence the whole of this area. Same with here, whole of that area. And then the moose, for example, up here, plus 3%, but it will influence the whole of this area. Now, as you may have noticed these little ribbons or whatever, if there is no ribbon, the current fitness would be 0 to 20%. Blue ribbon, purple ribbon, green ribbon, and so on. That is the best one, so basically that's what 5 stars will spawn as, to be honest, I think. But we don't know that, as it is currently believed that 85% and above is a 5 star. So that is one thing to look out for. Now that says 80 to 100%, that means that we could actually have 5 stars at 80%. So yeah, it's fairly complicated once you first see it, but then once you spend a little time looking at it and stuff, it then gets fairly simple. And obviously, us content creators have only just got our hands on this, so we don't actually know the full potential of it yet. So, for example, here, look, this would be a badger's like secondary habitat, so their lowest potential is all the way down at the bottom of the grey box there, and their highest is 90%. The mule deer's secondary habitat, it can go all the way down to 10%, but in a like a private area, it will never go below 50%. It never can. But as soon as you go out of that private area, it can go all the way down to 10% to 100%. So this basically shows us that yes, RNG is involved, and so is herd management. But we already knew that basically. The thing is, how much is which? Like, does RNG come into more of a play, or does herd management come into more of a play? I'm just trying to find like a really bad zone here to show you like what it could end up being. But I can't really, unfortunately. All my herds seem pretty good here. La 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 la. See, that's not even that bad there. That one's not even, that one's pretty good. Why isn't there any like awful zones? Another thing to touch upon that I forgot is on the graph, it's basically a distribution graph. So the higher the point is, the more like the amount of that species is in that range. So obviously you have a low distribution towards the bottom of the range, and a low distribution towards the top, and a high distribution in the middle. That shows more of the species is in the middle, around 50-40%. Less of the species is around the 22% mark, and less of the species around the 82% mark. So basically, the chances of finding something at 22% is the same as the chances of finding something at 82%. So that kind of doesn't make sense, but it kind of does at the same time. Another new thing would be that now on the map, obviously all of them have changed, and we now know the fitness potentials of that species in that area. We also have up here a day counter. So currently I am on day 3. If I was to sleep one more time, we would start a brand new year, things would die, things would age, and hopefully we have some new 5 stars. But now a lot of people were trying to guess when they were onto a new year, but now we don't need to do that anymore, because we have an in-game counter right there, which is extremely helpful in knowing when we could lose a 5-star, when we could gain a 5-star, because I can't tell you the amount of like incidents I've had where I've been filming a video, I've come across a 5-star, I need to shoot that 5-star for a different video, but I go to reset time and a year's passed and that 5 stars died. It's honestly so annoying. But now that we have a day counter, we know that we can't do that anymore. Right then guys, I believe that is going to do it for today's video. I really hope that you guys enjoyed and it was quite helpful, because I was certainly confused at the start when I first loaded this update up. But yeah, I really hope this has helped. And I guess I'll catch you in the next one once you've finally worked out all the herd management and you've got the biggest trophies that you've always wanted.